Hello, Aries. Welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and I will be doing your reading for money, wealth, finance, prosperity, abundance for the month of October 2020. Before I get started, I do want to say thank you all so much for your help and your support in removing or helping me get the videos removed that were stolen. Like someone had literally downloaded my videos, I guess, or screen recorded my videos and then uploaded them to a channel and was showing my videos as their own, which was weird because I got an email from YouTube saying there could be a copyright infringement. Look at these videos. So I guess they have some type of tools or technology in place to see if the content matches, if it's similar. So I don't know how they did it, but thankfully I checked today, the channel has been removed or taken down, and all of my videos that were stolen have been taken down. So I just want to say thank you all because it was really weird. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. For the readings this month, I will be using my Groovy Weight Tarot deck. This is one of my favorites. I will clarify with my Radiant Rider Waite Tarot deck, as I always do. And because this is October, I will close out your reading, Aries, with a Halloween Oracle card. I can't believe we are already into the fall and Halloween season. This is my favorite time of year. September is my birthday month, so I just love it. I'm so looking forward to fall and winter. Okay, so enough of me rambling. Let's go ahead and get into your reading, Aries. What do we need to know for the sign of Aries as it relates to money, wealth, finance, prosperity, and abundance? Look at these cards here. You've got some good things going on as we move into October 2020. Okay. All right, Aries. Looking at these cards, October is going to be a good month. However, there's going to be some shifting, and it's going to feel like things are not starting off great. But I promise you, if you will just write it out, you're going to see the upswing, and you're going to feel the upswing, very deliberately. I'll say it that way. So we have the Six of Swords, we have Seven of Cups upright, Queen of Cups, Ace of Cups reverse, Nine of Cups reverse, then we have the Ace of Wands, then we have the Five of Cups, which is interesting here, but I think this has something of an emotional tie to it. So as it relates to your money, like I said, things are going to be shifting. It's going to feel like you don't have a whole lot of control, but the opportunities are very much hidden, and I can say that because we're looking at the Seven of Cups here, and it's right next to the Queen of Cups. Now the Ace of Cups in the reverse, this is all emotional in nature along with this here, but this Ace of Wands is what's giving me fire. It's giving me a spark. It's giving me juice, I should say. So as we move into October, when it comes to your money, you're going to be feeling really emotional. And the emotions are probably going to feel a little bit overwhelming, maybe even a little bit unstable for some of you. But I have to tell you, emotions are not facts. And if you can just kind of write out those feelings as we move through the first week of October, things are going to turn around. You're going to start seeing growth. You're going to start seeing progress. You're going to start seeing forward movement. You're going to see things really shifting in a very positive direction. Now, when it comes to your money, I can say the biggest takeaway from this first week in October is for you to not allow your emotions to really kind of overwhelm you or put you in a state where you're making irrational decisions, right? So a lot of times, you know, because we're feeling overwhelmed or frustrated or discouraged, we tend to react instead of having thoughtful plans. And I want to warn you not to do that, because as we move into October, it's going to feel a little bit unsteady. It's going to feel, you know, emotionally draining. But you're going to have the kind of preparation, the knowledge to really understand that those are just feelings, those are just emotions, and you got to kind of ride it out. And I know it may not be easy, it may be very draining, like I said, or it may just feel like it doesn't make a lot of sense because your emotions are feeling very, very real. But I just want you to know that the emotional the tenseness that you're going to be feeling is not something that's going to deliberately affect you if you don't allow it to. So be very, very careful with your feelings. And I'm seeing that a lot here. It's like I see feelings going up and down, things moving back and forth, frustrations, feeling like you don't have a lot of control of the situation, even some feelings of maybe regret or feeling like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that, I should have thought things through. You know, trust, just trust that this is not going to be forever. And I promise you, you're going to start seeing some growth here. I see it with this card here. This Ace of Wands is telling me to tell you that this is just a temporary situation, okay? So let's see what else shows up for the sign of Aries as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of October 2020. Okay. All right, so we've got the Hermit and Smokey here. This card is unique to this deck, and we'll get into that. King of Pentacles reverse, Four of Pentacles upright, along with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, and then we have the Three of Pentacles upright. All right, so looks like some changes are coming as it relates to the work income. I can tell that by these three cards here. Now, I know you probably don't want to hear this, Aries, but I'm going to be direct and I'm going to say it anyway because I think we all have experienced it. But you're going to go through a period of doing either the same amount of work or more work, but your pay is either going to stay the same and in some cases decrease. Now, why is that important? Because this is something we need to pay attention to. And I think everybody has gone through this at some point in their professional working life. You know, either we've had a job and then they make changes and it's like, oh wow, they let 5 people go, but now I'm taking on the responsibilities of more people, but I'm not getting a raise, I'm not getting compensated, I'm not getting promoted. And I see that with these cards here. But the thing is this is kind of giving you a heads up to kind of come up with your exit plan, because if this is not the career that you truly are passionate about or that you want to do for a long term, you need to make a plan to get out now. You need to start setting the stage so you can have an exit strategy that benefits you, you know, because it looks like these changes are coming. And I think a lot of it has to do with our current state of our economy, but I also think too that it's just the way corporations are going now. You know, a lot of people are working from home. Companies are making changes to their work culture, to their environment. They're either laying people off and they're cutting hours, they're cutting pay, and I see that happening here. Now, if you don't have a job, what does this mean? Well, this is also telling me that you have to be very, very careful to what you do agree to if it's something that has a monetary connection to it. You know, let's say you don't have a job, but someone asks you to babysit, or someone asks you to mow their lawn, or something like that. Be very, very careful with what you get into if there's a money component, because you could be coming out with, you know, on the raw end of the deal. You know, someone could say, oh, I'll pay you $100 to do that. And then you go ahead and agree, but then you realize it's really a $200 job. And that's what I'm getting with these three cards here, and I'm getting that loud and clear. And the interesting thing about these three cards is what comes before them. We have the Hermit, Smoky, King of Pentacles. Now, the Hermit card means to kind of step back and watch and evaluate and maybe not necessarily take action. Smoky, this is the card about looking at the signals. You know, I'm sure we all have heard, where there's smoke, there's fire. We want to be careful about that, okay? We want to make sure that we're not ignoring the warning signs. If we see something happening, we need to pay attention and make sure we respond accordingly. The King of Pentacles in the reverse tells us, you know, something's not right as it relates to the finances. Not that somebody's trying to rip you off. There's nothing like that going on. I just think that there's an underestimation of what you are entitled to as it relates to your money, or someone just thinks that it's fair, but it really doesn't benefit you. So pay attention to this, okay? Especially around that second week of October. And I hope this makes sense, because I'm feeling this very strongly, that this is something that a lot of people don't talk about. You know, we talk about making money and doing more and getting more, but a lot of times we don't talk about the lack of fair compensation, or the fact that we're being underemployed, undercompensated, under-recognized for what we do. And people will only do that to the degree that you allow it. So I really want to kind of drive this point home for you, Aries. Pay attention to that. You're going to get some warning signs. Smoky here is all about telling us, you're going to know, you know, something's going to feel off, or you just know from your own experience, this doesn't match with what they're willing to pay me, or this doesn't seem to make sense. I can totally see that this is a job that's worthy of $1,000, but they want to pay me $500. You totally have every right to step back and say, hey, no, I'm not going to do that. Not because I don't think you're a good person, but I value myself more, and I really want to receive what I am entitled to. All right, Aries. Okay, I wanted to make sure that the camera was still going. All right, so let's go ahead and clarify and see what else is going to show up for you, Aries, in the month of October. As it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of October 2020. All right. Now, we talked about some of the warning signs that could be showing up as we move into the second week of October. Now, you're probably going to see the writing on the wall, and it's going to be disappointing, even heartbreaking to some degree for some of you. Conversations are going to be had. Things could either go really, really well, or they don't go well at all. It really depends on how things are presented. You know, you could express your frustration with a certain situation or a certain person, and, you know, depending on how that person is or how they react, you know, things could either go well or, like I said, not too well. You really have to be careful in your communication with other people. However, the good thing, and I do want you to know, there is a positive side to all of this. Because you're going to be a lot more discerning of what you do, when it comes to your money, it's going to put you in a position to where you're not going to have to feel so strapped. You're not going to feel like you're penny pitching. You're not going to feel like you're stuck doing something and you're not available to do something else. This is going to create some opportunity for you to really be available for other sources of income, other ways to make money. Your mind and your time will be free, so you can do something else that will pay you fairly, or that will compensate you to what you deserve. And I know this is going to feel frustrating, and I know this is going to feel disappointing, but just know that there is a positive to this. Let's say that you see the signs coming, and you see at your job, things are going to be where, oh, they're going to let 3 people go and pile their responsibilities onto you. You get your ducks in order, you decide to leave. Now you're free to take on another job, or maybe 2 jobs instead of having, 1 job. That's what I did. I remember I took 2 jobs because I had the flexibility being a single mother, as opposed to just 1 full-time job. I worked 2 part-time jobs because I could finagle the hours much easier. And I actually ended up making more money because of that, because I did have the flexibility, and I didn't have to spend so much in childcare and things like that. But I say all that to say is that, on the surface, people will say, oh my gosh, how horrible, you quit your job or whatever. But it's really a matter of kind of maneuvering the blocks in your life so it fits better for your particular lifestyle. And as a result, that creates more opportunity and more income for you. Now, we also have the Hierophant here. This is going against the grain. Sometimes this is going against religious practices or disciplines, but I also see this card when we're not talking about religion or spirituality. This card shows up when you're going against the masses. You're doing something different than what everybody else is doing. You are kind of creating your own way, and you are doing things that may not make sense to a lot of people, and that's okay, because it doesn't have to. So just know you may have to step out on in faith. That card dropped. You may have to step out in faith at first, but just trust yourself, because it looks like when all is said and done, you're going to be much happier. And I think you're going to be, I don't want to say more fulfilled, but that could very well be. But it's going to be a situation where it just flows better. It just works. There's not so much resistance. There's not so much stress. It's like things just kind of move much more gracefully. So what else do we need to know for the sign of Aries as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of October 2020? Okay, so as we close out October, I can see, Aries, you are going to be a little stressed. Things move, things change, things, happen for the better, but it doesn't feel like it. And I have to tell you, we've all been there. Everybody's gone through that, where they say, oh no, these changes are for improvements, but yet it doesn't feel like anything in your life is improving. I get it, I've been there, and I understand it. But I want to say that if that's kind of, the grind that you're kind of dealing with as we close out October, just know that it's not going to get any worse. When I see the Judgment card here, this is a very positive card, because this means decisions with long-term benefit that may not necessarily be apparent right now, but over the long term, you start getting little signs of things getting better. More money, more time off, more opportunity, better, work environment, more interesting people, all these good things. Now we have the Queen of Swords here. This means that something that was slated to be removed actually stays. Now this could be read two ways. This could be an actual person. Let's say could be a manager or coworker who had planned to leave, but something happened and he or she decides to stay. The other way we can interpret this card is somebody makes a decision to stop something, then they reevaluate and they realize, no, this is something that needs to continue. Either way, it's going to work out in your favor. And I want you to trust that because we have the Tower card in the reverse. Now, a lot of people get afraid when they see this Tower card, but I have to tell you, in the reverse position is actually very, very good. This means the worst is over. It also means that the ground has been cleared, breakthroughs are happening, the destruction has kind of settled, and now we are in the phase of rebuilding. We also have this Nine of Wands in reverse, another positive card because this is the card of frustration. But when it turns into the reverse position, this tells me that those days of frustration and, you know, kind of feeling like you want to give up, no, it's quite the opposite. You're actually feeling empowered. You're feeling hopeful. You're feeling rejuvenated, renewed. You even have a much more positive sense of who you are and what you're doing and how you're going to be showing up in this world. But I have to tell you, Aries, it's not going to be totally smooth in October, but everything is happening for a greater purpose and greater good. It looks like, you know, things are going to be a little disjointed. Things are going to be kind of rocky, and you're going to be trying to make sense of it all, and you can't make sense of it all. But when everything finally settles and starts to get really grounded, you're going to see, both in the now and in the long term, that the things that are happening in October really are setting you up for success, especially as it relates to your money. So I want you to get ready and I want you to prepare. I think this reading is all about kind of giving you a heads up and allowing you to see, you know, the writing on the wall, and to really just kind of like I said, the heaviest thing that comes through for me in this reading is start figuring out your plan. If you are going to move on to something else, come up with your exit strategy and make sure that it's pretty solid, and that, you know, when you do decide to leave something or break away from something, you know, you're not worse off. You know, it's like you prepared, you're ready, and you can definitely make some deliberate moves that will benefit you now and in the future. Okay, so let's go ahead and close out your reading, Aries, with a Halloween Oracle card. Oh, wow. Okay. Wise seeing and wise action. The owl. Yep. I think this echoes the reading. Wise seeing the warning signs. Taking wise action means preparing yourself, your life, your family, your home, whatever it is you need to do. It's all about preparation. And I know prepping is a very popular thing right now. And I think a lot of that energy is, you know, kind of working its way into our money energy. So I think this is very powerful. Like I said, I think it totally matches the theme of your reading for October. Wise seeing, wise action. The owl. All right, Aries, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, observations, feel free to drop them down in the comment section below. And if you'd like to connect with me for a private reading, I will have that information linked for you in the description as well. All right, Aries, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. We'll definitely do it all again next month.